shocked that they have, with no response. I guess in a lot of ways this is a response to Mr. Justice Cohen, but no formal response. And that commission of inquiry was put in place by Harper. They spent over $20 million on a very substantial amount of science and study, and Mr. Justice Cohen also recommended that they needed more science to actually dig into some of these issues more. And the response is to ignore his report and then to lift the moratorium and announce more fish farms. So I think that may lead to, there's been a number of court actions filed all over the place. There was a court action filed today by Living Oceans in BC and the Ecology Action Center in Halifax against the licensing of genetically modified salmon. So that's been taken forward. There's 2 different court cases filed by groups that say that the National Energy Board Joint Review Panel was ultra vires its legislative mandate because it failed to provide anything like a full reasoned report and study with the evidence as to why it was in the public interest to go ahead with the pipelines across northern BC to the tankers at Kitimat on a very sloppy reports. There's 2 different lawsuits on that. I mean, this is one place where Stephen Harper is creating employment is for lawyers, because the court cases are all over the place. And I think the First Nations, that's what I think, I can't remember which newspaper said that about the Joint Review Panel. We know where the jobs are going to be based on this report. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits. But certainly First Nations are going to go to court. And I don't think there's any real doubt that Stephen Harper is blindly committed to anything that ships out raw bitumen. They've been, that you can't call it diplomacy with the United States when they say to the Obama White House, we won't take no for an answer. When has a Canadian Prime Minister ever said that to a U.S. President? It's really quite interesting. We won't take no for an answer. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do if the answer is no. Huff and puff, and anyway, hold our breath until we turn blue. It's a very odd. Anyway, and then Baird went down to Washington and said, well, even if the answer is no, we want to know now. And John Kerry said, no, we have a process here. So there have been a lot of things going on that suggest that, when we get back to Parliament, there will be a lot to talk about. But they'll probably still only want to talk about the Senate. And
But maybe that's the